This video is sponsored by Moo. Use that link down below, deposit at least $100, and just like that, you get up to 15 stocks, each up to $2,000, and it also helps out the channel, guys. I appreciate you all as always, and with that being said, let's dive into the video. Let's talk stocks, let's break down the markets, and go over what ended up happening today. So we ended up seeing a pretty strong green day all across the board. Russell up over 1.2%, NASDAQ up 0.5%, S&P up about 0.75%, as the Dow went up 0.4%, and the VIX actually went down about 4%, and last I checked, the metals were all over the place. Yeah, silver down 1.3%, as gold actually had another green day now, over $18.60 an ounce, up 0.8% on the day. So pretty volatile day all across the board. If you guys take a look here on the intraday chart on SPY, we ended up, opening the day at about 383, saw a spike to about 384, dropped down to 370 or 379, rallied all the way back up to 385. Then we ended up closing a little bit under 384. You guys can see all that choppiness throughout the day. And triple Q, if I pull it up, let me show you guys this. This tracks the NASDAQ 100. You can see we opened up at about 266, dumped down to about 262, rallied back to about 267, and then we closed down to about 265. Well, we didn't close down. We had a green day, but we ended up dropping about $2 from the intraday highs heading into the close, the last couple hours of the day. So we had the Fed minutes today, and to be honest, guys, nothing crazy really ended up coming from that. Essentially, participants, this came straight from the report, participants generally observed that a restrictive policy stance would need to be maintained until the incoming data provided confidence that inflation was on a sustained downward path to 2%, which, have we not heard that hundreds of times, right, guys? Which was likely to take some time, end quote. And, the meeting summary stated a bunch of things, but this was one of the things. And, quote, in view of the persistent and unacceptably high level of inflation, several participants commented that historical experience cautioned against prematurely loosening monetary policy, which no doubt I agree with. And I'm sure a lot of you guys out there agree with as well. If the Fed were to just, turn on, start pivoting right now, going back to 3%, 2%, 0%, inflation would run rampant. We all know that at this point. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to tell you that. So the Fed funds rate currently is about 4.25 to 4.5. It's running in that range, and it's at its highest level in 15 years. And currently, I'm not sure if you guys knew this, maybe you did, but the markets are pricing in the likelihood of rate increases totaling 0.5 to 0.75, so up to 75 more basis points, before pausing to evaluate the impact the hikes are having on the economy. So, yeah, that as of now is what the markets are pricing in. So Fed funds rate anywhere from around 5 to 5.25. And we're kind of in the waiting game process right now. That's what markets are pricing in. So let's say inflation sees an uptick. Fed's like, oh, we're back to the drawing board. Let's say now we have to do more than 0.5 to 0.75. Maybe now we have to do 100 basis points, 150 basis points. Maybe the Fed funds rate has to go to 6%. Or if anything crazy out of the norm or not out of the norm, but that's not priced in, that's not expected. If that happens, markets have, it's going to get ugly. Let's just put it that way. That is not currently priced in. It's just not. So what do you guys think about that? Nothing crazy came out of these minutes, and nothing. It's not like we had a huge swing after the minutes or anything like that. Maybe we did see some volatility around that time, 2 p.m., but it wasn't anything crazy. As you guys can see, green day all across the board. The futures are down a little bit, which I'm not too worried about. Down about 0.1% across the board. But yeah, what do you guys think about that? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments as always. And if we pull up oil, let me see what oil did today. This ended up going down. Look at that, 73 a barrel. It actually hit 72 a barrel. And if I pull the 5-day, we can see what a drop in just the past day. This is actually insane. Look at this. Oil was at 81 a barrel just about 24 hours ago. Not even. Actually, maybe a little bit over that. Either way, It went from 81 a barrel to now 72 a barrel. It is down 10% in just the span of a day. I mean, this is insane. And we can see clearly, and did we not call this out? We called it out, guys. We called it out. We can see we got rejected at this point, double top right at the downtrend, and now we're going for the lows. I would not be surprised if oil were to take out $70, or at least test $70, as now it is at $73 per barrel. And we covered this in my last video, but I'll mention it again. SPY right now, we have a head and shoulders, as you all can see. If I pull the 4-hour chart up, let me show you guys that. You guys see that right here. We have a head and shoulders, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and as of now, we're battling at the neckline, being about 387, 388. For the bulls, that level needs to break. If that does break, the pattern, the head and shoulders, is out the window, and this could see a rally maybe towards 400 a share. And on triple Q, let me pull that up. Triple Q right now is battling at about 270, right? Is it 270? Yeah, 270, 268. If these levels break, we could see a move to 275. That's the high from the end of last year. If that breaks, we could keep going towards 280 and maybe even further from that. So what do you guys think? Pretty good day overall in the markets today. And we covered the Chinese stocks in my last video. Go check that video out if you haven't done so already. They crushed it. Alibaba up 12, 13% on the day. JD up almost 15%, guys. Unbelievable day all across the board there for the most part out of the Chinese stocks. So let's break down some stocks now that I'm looking at and overall where my head is at in these markets. So BBWI, let's pull that up. Let me show you guys how this one ended up doing today. This went up almost 11%. This is Bath & Body Works, guys. Again, ticker symbol BBWI. You all can see it closed just under $48 per share. Pretty epic day for this stock. And overall, we can see the breakout above the multi-month resistance recently. You know, we were struggling. It was struggling at $43 since the middle end of May. And you guys can see we clearly broke out of that. And now we took the highs out from the beginning of last month. Pretty much all of last month, this stock was struggling at about $45. So today's move was a really big, I mean, it was a great sign for the bulls. Big momentum shift today for BBWI. I mean, the bulls have been dominating on the stock the past couple of weeks, but today, I mean, it's fully breaking out now. So BBWI, I'm watching it at this point. You know, if I pull the yearly chart on it, let me take a look here. Where could this thing be going based on, previous levels here? We can see the highs from the end of March of 2022 were right around 52.50. We can see $55 was a high in May, I believe, May of 22. So who knows? This could really start gaining some momentum towards 50, 52, mid-low 50s. So BBWI, keep your eyes on that, guys. And we also had UNF today report. Let me pull that up. UNF ended up doing, let's see here, adjusted EPS of $2.21 versus $1.91 estimated. So they beat on adjusted EPS, and revenue ended up coming in at $541.8 million versus $527.51 million estimated. So they beat EPS, and they ended up beating on revenue, which is great. And they see full year 23 adjusted EPS right around $7.10 to $7.50 versus $7.21 estimated, which is pretty solid. And they see revenues for full year 23 around $2.14 billion to $2.16 billion, which is right in line with the $2.15 billion estimates. So pretty solid here for UniFirst, and the stock went up about 4.5%, not bad. Closed under $200, which you guys can see. We covered this actually recently. This stock failed at 200, a double topped back in August at $200. No joke, 199, 200, and then it ended up going all the way down to 160. So a double topped, dropped 20%. Now we've recovered pretty much all that loss, and we're going to retest that point at 200, which, that's where my alert's at after these earnings. Pretty good guidance. Let's see if we could break out of 200, guys. I think if this does break 200, let's pull the 3-year chart up. Where could this thing be going? I mean, we're talking 215. we're talking, I mean, this is not going to happen overnight, but these are some levels, 233, 243, you know, the highs here from a couple months, I mean, more than a couple months ago, geez, almost 2 years ago, 260. I forgot I was looking at the 3-year chart, guys. But yeah, look at that. This could really start taking off past 200. Let's take a look at it. Let's keep it on the watch list. So that's UNF. We also had Netflix today seeing a pretty good day. Let's pull that up. Netflix went up 5% on the day. Very strong day. And at this point, it's breaking out of the moving averages. We took the highs out from the end of last year, not the middle of December of last year, but we broke the highs from the end of December. So that's a good sign. And one thing worth mentioning here is no doubt we have a Head and Shoulders potentially in the making, which I'm not going to lie, that's not something that I'm loving right now with Netflix. And the neckline you can see is right at, let's pull it up here. Where is that at? Right at about, no joke, where we are now, 310, 312, which you can see that's where the left shoulder, pretty much formed back in the middle of November. So if we fail here, 310, 312 on Netflix, guys, this could be setting up for a right shoulder dump, right? That would not be a good sign for the Bulls, but who knows? We'll see. We're not dumping quite yet. In fact, again, we had a great day today, so I'm going to set my alert at 312. We'll see what happens there. Mark is at or above 312. If that breaks, we could have a lot more upside. So that is Netflix. MGM had a pretty good day today as well, 7%. And did we not call this out a couple of videos ago? I mean, this is one that we were talking about as it was at the bottom of the channel. Now it's up from that point about 8-9%. We're above the 50 SMA. Now we're about to test the 180. I'm going to set my alert here. I'll put it at $36. Mark is at or above. If that does break, who knows? There could be some runway towards $38, $40. That's where we kind of triple topped. If you guys look at the chart here, that was, when was that? Back in, when was this? November, December. You guys see that on the chart. So yeah, this ended up triple topping at that point, and that's where it could test. That's where I feel like if we do break this 36 level, that's where it could be going, $40. Then if that were to break, who knows? Maybe even higher from there. So MGM, I like the way that chart is looking right now. And Foot Locker too. Let me pull that up. Ticker symbol FL. By the way, if you guys are finding value in this video, hit that like button. And of course, make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you all as always. I mean, if I didn't earn your subscription yet, I understand. That's fine. But if you guys like the content, if you like what I'm producing here, it means the world to me. It would mean the world to me for you to hit that like button. And again, to subscribe. I appreciate you all as always. So Foot Locker, ticker symbol FL. This is one that is looking to retest a multi-month resistance. Today it went up 3.7%, and you guys can see on the chart here, 4-hour chart, this stock's been struggling at $40 since the middle of August. Now what? It's the beginning of the new year. That's about 4 or 5 months. So yeah, I mean, we have to break out of there. Bulls need to get out of there. And this is an ascending triangle forming. Higher lows the past couple months, but again, resistance at $40. If Foot Locker is able to take that level out, there could be, there is a wide open gap to about 45 from that point. So from 40 to 45, and then if 45 were to break, we've covered this before, but it's been a while. We'll talk about it right now. This could be going all the way to the 50s. We're not going to get there yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves yet, but that's where this really could be getting to. So in the meantime, or right here in the short term, I'm going to set my alert at $40 a share. Mark is at or above $40 a share. And if we do get out of that point, we do break out of there, we could be going to that mid-40 level. So that is Foot Locker. Let me pull up the next one, which is a Chinese stock, like I mentioned in my earlier video. Chinese stock crushed it. I mentioned that in the beginning of this video as well. This is a Chinese stock. It went up almost 8% on the day. We actually called this out a couple days ago as well. And it ripped right off the 180 SMA here, right off of $80. It hit $80. Bounced off of that, broke the 50 SMA. Now we're actually right at the highs from the middle of last month, right around $92, $93. If this point breaks on PDD, man, this thing could be going. I think the highs a couple years ago were $100. Let me double check, but I'll set my alert now I'll put it at 93 bucks. Let me see here though. I think I looked at it a couple of days ago. We talked about this, right? Yeah, the highs were a lot higher. Holy crap. Yeah, 212 bucks was the all-time high from the middle of February of 2021. So if we do break 93, we're probably going to be going towards these highs here from August, September, November, October of 2021, which are right around $100, $110. This is the next gap that could fill. So I like PDD. Watch out for it, guys. No doubt about it. Another Chinese stock. And let me see here. I had a comment about Costco. Let's pull up Costco and see what this looks like. Right off the bat, I mean, this looks like, head and shoulders played out. Now we're seeing a bunch of lower highs. That's not a good sign. And it looks like now if we pull the 4-hour chart, it looks like it's about, this does not look good. To be honest, if anything, and I don't short stocks, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've never really been a big guy to just go and short stocks. I've bought put options a couple times. I mean, who hasn't done put options? I'm more of a buy and hold type of investor when it comes to the long-term side. And, if I like to play with options, I like to sell options and buy calls. If I were to buy calls or buy options, I'm looking mostly to buy calls. But in this case, this would be the rare case where I'm looking at Costco and I'm like, oh, wait a second. This looks like it could be a short. It's a short setup. I mean, look at this. Costco at this point is making clear lower highs. Let me just point these out. You guys see that right there? We peaked at about, what was that? $565 middle of August. We just hit roughly 537, 540 just, a couple weeks ago. And now it's, all the way down to 455. We're pretty much hanging on by a thread. This is a descending triangle. Remember, Foot Locker was an ascending triangle. This is a descending triangle, guys. That's not a good sign. If this thing falls under 450, which it's not doing that, for all we know, it could have a relief rally now and rip all the way to 500 plus again. But if it falls under $450, which we're about $5-6 away from that right now, this could end up seeing a pretty bad dump. I mean, this could go down towards the low 400s. That's what the chart is setting up, or setting up to look like, right? I mean, at least in my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. But if 450 breaks, 445 breaks, I might as well set another alert at 445. Let me tell you, watch out below. It's not going to be looking good. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And today's actually, in this video, one of the rare recent videos that we haven't talked about Tesla stock. So let's change that. Tesla stock. Let's end off the video with pulling up Tesla stock and seeing how this closed. So it went up 5% on the day, nothing crazy. And, it's seeing a little bit of a spike here after it had an awful day of trading yesterday, where it went from 104. It went all the way down to 104 again. So right now, I mean, it's showing some support at about $100, and I feel like 100 is a psychological level here on Tesla. So who knows? We might play around $100 for the next couple of days, maybe the next week or two. But my alert is still set at 100. The second it breaks that point, it's probably going down 90, 95, maybe even lower. It's going to get ugly. But right now, it's dancing around $100. That's all I'm going to say when it comes to Tesla stock, guys. So overall, those are some stocks that I'm looking at, some thoughts on the markets, what's been going on, especially today. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Hit the like button. Let's try to run the like button up. 100 likes, 150 likes, 200 likes. Hit that like button, subscribe. And if you guys haven't gotten your free stocks from Moomoo, get up to 15 stocks from Moomoo. Link down below. 12 stocks from Webull. Also linked down below. And if you guys want to check out my Patreon, that, guess what, is also linked down below. All the details. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Peace out.